Hello everyone, welcome to the day 3, part 2 series. Before we begin, I want you to ask something very honestly, not casually, just for the sake of asking no, but genuinely I'm asking. Did you see the day 3 part 1 series? Did you actually make the notes? Did you actually sit and reflect on your businesses, that why I get this notice, why I received this notice, or just to listen and you just move on? Because if you have not watched part 1 properly of the day 3, then I really would genuinely suggest, please go back and please watch this series, day 3 part 1, and just please take a notepad, making notes, important points, write down, and then come back to this part 2, because this is the series part 1, part 2, part 3 of all the days. It's not just like a is not meant to be watched casually, right? This is I would definitely say this is not just the information, this is the response mindset. In part 1 of day 3 now, we spoke about why notice come, and today in the part 2 we are going to talk about something that is even more important, right? The question is, what should we do when a notice actually comes? You have to not theoretically, we will talk here, not emotionally, but we will talk all about the practically, because let us very be honest. The moment when a business receives a tax notice, the first reaction is really logic. Yes, it is almost always the panic mode. Your heartbeat start increasing, your mind start racing, and yes, sometimes you call your accountants, finance team immediately. You start checking the old mails, old WhatsApp, old messages, and you start to remember what was filed, what was left. You open the folders, you search messages, and in that moment businesses do not mistakes because of the notice, because just for the notice. No, they don't mistake, they make mistakes just because of their panic. They are making mistakes, and where the mistake, they are making mistakes in this, in responding the notice, in response of notice. And that is why today, day 3 part 2 series, it's a topic is really important for all of us, because a notice is not, because it's definitely, a notice is not the end of the something. It is a beginning of response. As I said above, no, response matters, and the quality of that response decides your outcome. If your response is calm, structured, and timely within the due date, many issues easily handled smoothly. But if your response is rushed, emotional, or careless, or after the due date, yes, even a small issue can become complicated. So, friends, today I want to give you a very simple and practical framework, something that you can remember easily, and you can apply immediately. A framework, right? A framework for how to respond to a text notice without panic. So, friends, let us start with the most important truth. Receiving a notice does not automatically means you have done something wrong. Please understand this is very clearly. A notice may come because of mismatch, agree, because of the missing information, because of the incomplete reporting, right, and system comparison, or simply a clarification requirement. Notice comes. It is not always an accusation requirement. It is not always an accusation. Sometimes it is just a question raised by the system. But because the word like notice, it sounds like a serious, right? People react as if something was already wrong happened. And that is a very simple, can say, the first thing we need to change, the reaction. The first step after receiving a notice is simple. Just have to remember, Do not react emotionally. Just be calm. Read the notice properly, calmly, not once, but at least twice or thrice. Why? Because many businesses panic after reading just the heading. Start no panic. They just read the heading and they start the panic. They see section numbers in technical language and strict timelines, and immediately they assume the worst part, worst through worst. But but before thinking about reply, penalty or consequences, right? You need to understand one thing clearly: what exactly is being asked. Is it asking for clarification? Might be possible. Is it asking for documents? Possible. Is it asking for the mismatch explanation or difference justification? Possible. And this clarity is very important, because if you do not understand the issue, right, you cannot prepare the correct response. Now, the next step I will tell you. The next step is to identify the issue in one simple line. Simple. Can you explain the notice in plain language? Can you say this notice is about the turnover mismatch or ITC difference or TDS issue or expense clarification? If you cannot explain it in one line, it means you have not understood it properly, right? And if you have not understood the notice, so definitely do not rush. Do not rush into replying. Do not rush into response. Now let's come to the next step, is to check the timeline. What is the due date for response? And this is the important thing. This is the where many businesses make mistake. As we discussing, right? Some panic, and some some businesses panic and they respond immediately without understanding. And some businesses, what they're doing, they delay and then rush at the last moment. And both approaches are absolutely wrong. You need is all about the balance, calm, calm response with timely action. Because it is all about the compliance, and compliance respect the timelines. And yes, delays reduces your flexibility. Now, let's come to the one of the most important steps. It's all about the documentation. Collect fact before creating the explanation. Do not start writing reply based on the memories or assumptions. Do not ever say, I think this happened. I think this happened as all. Instead, check your data, open your books, and just start review. Review your returns, verify supporting documents, and compare the figure. Because a text notice is not answered by confidence. It is answered, as we discussed, as we said, it is answered by facts, documentation. It should be strong. And yes, many businesses make the mistake of writing explanation. Uh, just they're mistaking in the writing explanation first, and they're checking later. But what should be the correct sequence? It should be first fact should be there, then response. Right. Now let us be more practical. For example, if the notice is about the turnover mismatch, for example, then you have to check your books, you have to check your GST returns, income tax data, and review the timing differences, and also check the credit notes and classification differences. Then ask yourself whether the mismatch is real or explainable. Because not every mismatch is an error. Sometimes it is all about the timing or reporting differences. Similarly, if the notice is, for example, is about the ITC, then review the GST 2B, check the purchase register, verify the verify the supplier compliance, check invoices, and confirm correct claim. Right? Because it is it why we are doing this. It is not means like you are not, it means you are not guessing. It means you are verify the things. You are verifying the facts. And once your facts are clear, crystal clear now, prepare a simple and clear response. And many people think a response should be very technical and long. No, you know, a good response is should be the clear, relevant, factual, and structured. And if the issue is simple, the reply should be simple. It is all about how you understand the notice in simple terms. State the issue, give explanation, attach documents, and yes, keep the language more clean, more simple. Do not write the emotional or defensive statements. Must be respectful. Do not accuse the department. And yes, do not use the aggressive tone, because a notice response is not a place to express the frustration. It is a place to present your clarity about your business, about the notice question, their fact. Now, at the end of this topic, at the end of this series, now let us talk about simple things what you should not do. First thing, do not ignore the notice. This is the biggest mistake. Ignoring notice, if you ignore the notice, it does not mean your notice will disappear. It means it weakens your position, your case. Next point is that do not panic. Don't panic and don't send the incomplete replies. Many people respond quickly without proper checking the fact, and later they have to correct themselves, which definitely affects their credibility, affects their case, which can be easily sort out. Just focus. Do not assume your accountant, your team will handle everything without your involvement. It is a requirement of a professional help. It is very important. But yes, crucial thing is understanding is your responsibility. Do not manipulate data just to match figures. If there is an issue, understand and correct it properly. And yes, the last point, do not wait till the last day, last minute to respond, because that response create the stress, create the mistakes and incomplete work. So friends, with this note, we conclude this series and we will meet in the next part. So thank you so much. If you did not subscribe this channel, please subscribe this. Thank you so much.